Somewhere dun, 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 beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. I am screwing this up. Hello, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, people. Just keep swimming by the beautiful sea. I don't know what I'm doing, clearly. Hello, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, brothers, sisters, everyone else. Hi, I'm the YuGiOh Dad, aka the Dark Magician Master, aka that dad, and today we're bringing to you the first of its kind in terms of this video for my channel anyway. I'm actually gonna do a deck profile for a Mako Tsunami or water deck, a speed duel deck. Pretty much I made this out of whatever cards I got from Attack from the Deep or the Arena of Lost Souls. Alright, so let's just dive right into this and let's go.
Your monsters are sleeping with the fishes.
Alright, so here we go. This is our Mako deck. As you can see, our first card is actually a skill card, the World's Greatest Fisherman. It's a Mako skill, obviously, and it reads, once per turn you could pay 500 life points and discard one water monster, then add one water monster from your graveyard to your hand with a different name and with a level no more than twice the discarded monster's level. If you do, flip this card over. So yeah, this is a pretty good card because the whole strategy of this deck is to like literally fish out your strongest monster. And you know, it's speed duel, so you don't have to worry too much about power creep. So yeah, once you get your main monster out, usually you will win the duel. Okay, next up, for our normal monsters, we have two great sharks, great whites, because you know they're 1600 body, they're water monsters, they're 4 stars, they're really good. These are like the monsters you're gonna discard in synergy with your skill card to get your big boss monster. So yeah, and along with that, kind of with the same thinking behind it, you're gonna have 3 high tide Gyojin. You know, this one is 1650 body, also 4 stars, is a water monster, and also you are gonna want to discard this for your main monster, or if not, at the very least you have a pretty good body on a water monster. Okay, next up, obviously it wouldn't be a Mako deck without Mako's big Battle City card, the Legendary Fisherman. So this one is a level 5 warrior effect monster, and it reads, while Yumi is on the field, this card is unaffected by spell effects and cannot be targeted for attacks. He does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. Its attack is 1850, its defense is 1600. Now, you do have 2 in this deck, you know, and it's one of those things where I did debate. You know, it's a 5-star monster, but there's actually ways to special summon it onto the field, which will come up later. But you know, I just want to have like an iconic Mako card, so that's why we have those 2. Okay. Next, you're gonna have 3 of for the Fishborg Planter. Now this is a fish effect monster, level 2 water monster that reads, once while this card is in the graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Then, if it is a water monster, special summon this card from the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Fishborg Planter once per turn. So yeah, so this is actually like a really good way of like dumping cards into the graveyard, which is something you really want to do because you want your boss monster to end up in the graveyard. Next we got Lost Blue Breaker, and this is a 2 of. It's a level 3 water monster. It's a sea serpent effect monster that reads, if there is another face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster on the field, you can tribute this card, then target one spell or trap on the field, destroy that target. So yeah, I pretty much got this for like spot removal. Unfortunately, it does require that there is any one of your other monsters on the field to use it. So that's like kind of the downside to this card, but this deck doesn't have a lot of spot removal for your opponent back row, so I thought this was a really good addition as a 2 of. Next up, we got Ruka. It's a level 2 water monster, and it's a Sea Serpent effect monster that reads, if this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to your graveyard, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Then, if it is a water monster, draw a card. Attack 1000, defense 1000. So again, you know, you want cards that, you know, do help you dump your deck to a graveyard. You know, because that's pretty much what your legendary fisherman is for. So yeah, I like having 2 of. I feel like that's a nice solid number. So yeah, we got that. Alright, next, for 3 ofs, Slushie. It's a level 2 water monster. It's an aqua effect monster. It reads, when this is normal summoned, you can send a Slushie from your deck to the graveyard. If you have 3 copies of Slushie total, either banished or in your graveyard combined, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a level 5 or higher Sea Serpent monster from your graveyard. Special summon that target. You can only use this effect of Slushie once per turn. So yeah, this is one of those cards that, you know, its whole purpose is to get summoned, just to be destroyed. You know, you're going to want to see all 3 of these in your graveyard, because that really helps you get into your boss monster. It gives you a way to special summon it from the graveyard. You know, so that maybe you don't need your skill card, you know, which might come up in some duels. You know, so yeah, 3 Slushies, absolutely, like, my favorite, like, support card in this deck. And finally, for your boss monster, you got your Leviadragon Daedalus. You know, so it's a level 7 water monster. It's a Sea Serpent effect monster that reads, you can send 1 face-up Yuumi you control to the graveyard, destroy all other cards on the field. So yeah, this is like, you know, a better Black Rose Dragon. It just gets rid of everything but itself. Its attack is 2600, defense is 1500. So yeah, this is your boss monster. This is really what you want to get onto the field. And you know, once it pretty much destroys everything else, it's going to be really hard for your opponent to figure out what to do. You know, it's a really hard monster to get rid of. It board wipes everything, so it's just like a really solid card. And I think it's a really cool card too. Alright, and now moving on to our spell cards. We got Yuumi as the field spell. Obviously, we got 2 ofs for that because the Legendary Fisherman and Leviadragon both need it for their effects. And its effect reads, all fish, sea serpent, thunder, and aqua monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense. Also, all machine and pyro monsters on the field lose 200 attack and defense. So yeah, we don't really want it for its, like, stat changing abilities, although they are nice. Really, we just want this in the deck for the Legendary Fisherman, for Leviadragon. So yeah, that's why we have 2. And also I realized that it's, you know, you do have a lot of weak monsters in this deck. You know, so I thought that a good way to handle that is with 2 Mask of the Accursed. And it's an equip card that reads, the equipped monster cannot attack. Once per turn during your standby phase, inflict 500 damage to a controller of the equipped monster. So yeah, this is a good way to deal with your opponent's big monsters. You know, completely immobilize them and burn your opponent for damage. So yeah, I wanted to get 2 of those. Solid card. Alright, I also added Mori of Greed. It's a spell card that reads, shuffle 2 water monsters from your hand into your deck, then draw 3 cards. You know, because sometimes you don't want, you know, certain combinations of these water monsters, right? So it's really good to be able to just draw a card, you know, to draw 3 cards. You know, it's a good +1. But yeah. Alright, also classic card that I want to put in here, Shield and Sword. It switches the original attack and defense of all face-up monsters currently on the field until the end of this turn. So, you know, just like, it's a good, like, old-fashioned combo, I guess you could say. You know, drop this, get rid of your opponent's strong monster, summon your own strong monster, and it's stronger, and everything works out in the world. So, yeah, the solid card. Alright, you got your D-Spell. This one is one that I question a lot. But again, like with speed duels, you know, sometimes you just need something that gets rid of a spell card. You know, and it reads, target one face-up spell or set spell or trap card on the field. Destroy that target if it is a spell card. If the target is set, reveal it. So yeah, it's just like a good like back row removal. Alright, you got your block attack. You know, target one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls. Change that target to face-up defense position. You know, it's just a good way to like make sure your opponent doesn't kill you before you're able to summon your big strong monster. You know, we got Water Hazard, which is a continuous spell card that reads, once per turn you can special summon a level 4 or lower water monster from your hand. You must control no monsters to activate and to resolve this effect. I really like this card to help me summon the legendary fisherman more, you know, because it lets me to special summon, you know, any one of these other smaller level monsters and essentially just, you know, tribute it for the legendary fisherman. So I like this card, and I thought one was enough for this. And finally, we got a 3 of with Big Wave Small Wave. It's a spell card that reads, destroy all face-up water monsters you control, then you can special summon water monsters from your hand up to the number of monsters destroyed by this effect. So yeah, this is another good card I have 3 of, just on the off chance that you end up having your Leviathan Dragon or even multiple legendary fishermen on the field. You know, it's really nice if you're able to like get like 3 monsters on the field, use this card, and then summon 3 of your bigger monsters, you know, and your opponent never sees it coming. So yeah, I really like this. This is a 3 of, you know, just because it's a card I always want to see in my hand. So yeah, you know, this is pretty much the deck. Now I'm going to show you any good combos you could use in an opening hand. So yeah, let's get on to that. Okay, so this deck is actually really good at going second. So, you know, we obviously start with 4 cards in our hand. Okay, so we got a Slushie, Mori of Greed, Fishborg Planner, and a Water Hazard. This is not bad. Not a bad hand. Okay, so, you know, let's just say we're going second, right? So that means we would have 5 cards in our hand. Okay. So the first thing I would want to do is activate my Mori of Greed. Yeah, Mori of Greed. So I would send 2 Aqua monsters to a graveyard, right? So I would choose my Fishborg Planner and my Great White. You know, then I would draw 3 cards. Okay, so let's see what we got. Okay, so we got a Big Wave, Small Wave, a Legendary Fisherman, and a Leviathan Dragon. Okay. So first, I would want to activate Water Hazard, which for this turn wouldn't really do much, but would help set up any future plays I might have. I would want to summon Slushie, and that would let another Slushie go from the deck to the graveyard, right? Because that's what we want, right? We want as many Slushies as we can in the graveyard. Okay, then I would activate my Big Wave, Small Wave. I would destroy my Slushie and summon as many water monsters from my hand up to the number of the destroyed monsters. So that's just 1. I would then summon my Leviathan Dragon. And there you go. You know, you got your strong boss monster. You know, and from here, it's all about hoping to God that your opponent doesn't have anything stronger. You would attack into it and, you know, win duel that way. Alright, so now we're going to try, you know, another hand, you know. Let's say we're going first. You know, I'm pretty sure we could do something really good with this deck. So let's say we're going first. You know, we could do a lot with this deck. So, yeah, here we go. Shuffled 4 cards. Okay, we got Mori of Greed, we got Slushie, Legendary Fisherman, and Fishborg Planner. Okay. Alright, so first I would want to summon Slushie, right? So I could send another Slushie to the graveyard. Again, you know, it's the one thing we really want to do, send Slushies to the graveyard. Okay. Alright, so we still have a Mori of Greed, a Legendary Fisherman, and a Fishborg Planner. I will elect to activate Mori of Greed, send my legendary fisherman and my fishboard planner, draw 3 cards. You know. Okay, so now I got in my Ruka, a Dispel, and a Mask of the Accursed. I would then activate the special ability of my fishboard planner, which reads, once while this card is in the graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Then, if it is a water monster, special summon this card from the graveyard. Usually it is going to be a water monster, right? So let's try our luck. Water monster. Send it to a graveyard, and guess what? We could then special summon our fishboard planner. Right? And then we still have a water monster, right? We still have this skill card. You know, the legendary fisherman. We would pay 500 life points, discard a water monster, and add a water monster from our graveyard to our hand with a different name and a level no more than twice the discarded, right? So, you know, send our Imai Ruka, and I would honestly want to get this other Slushie back, because the next turn, what I would do is, you know, I'm pretty much set for next turn. You know, with Speed Duel, you know, let's say my opponent has a continuous spell card that I want to get rid of, Dispel. You know, let's say they actually are able to summon a really big monster, Mask of the Accursed, you know? And, you know, so I'd have a solution for either of those in the next turn. You know, Fishboard Planner, send my Fishboard Planner, you know. I mean, my Slushie, right? Summon Slushie, dump Slushie, and, you know, pretty much riff off that until eventually I am able to get my Leviathan with the World's Greatest Fisherman effect, or Slushie's effect. So, yeah. I'll do one more of these opening hands. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we got our 4 cards. Okay, this is not bad. You know, it's a pretty basic hand, but it's really not bad. You know, let's assume that we go, you know, second. You know, let's say the opponent's got a pretty beefy monster, right? Okay, so let's draw a card. Okay. So in this case, I wouldn't want to start with Slushie if I'm going first, because I don't have anything to back it up, right? So I would probably activate a Shield and Sword on a monster that I'm assuming has a defense lower than 1650, right? Or 1850, since I summon High Tide Gyojin and I activate the field spell of Yumi. This is obviously not the field spell zone, but I am going to put it there just because it's the only thing that fits in the shot, you know. But then assuming that their monster had nowhere near 1850 defense, its attack is now something lower than 1850, and your monster would then attack over it, you know, which is why I wanted, you know, the High Tide and the Great White in the deck, because I want to have something that could just, you know, be a pretty good body on board, you know, when your boss monster wasn't available. Now, I think this deck would work great if you had more of the boss monster, you know. So yeah, if you want to get like maybe more booster packs, you know, up your chances of getting more of those. But as far as like building it for the first time, I think this is really good for a Speed Duel deck. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. Thank you for watching it, obviously. And yeah, just let us know anything else you'd want to watch. Tell us if you like this. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Alright, thank you. Bye.